the instructor for a psychology class at Georgia Tech called the Experimental Analysis of Behavior. And I teach the laboratory portion of that. It's a psychology course where students learn about classical and operant conditioning. And in the lab part, they get to apply the techniques that they've learned to a lot of different contexts, but specifically they get hands-on training with animal training and how classical and operant conditioning fit into animal training. So Georgia Tech has a really unique partnership with Zoo Atlanta where we get to come here once a week and the students get to work with the sheep or goats in the petting zoo here. And they get to pick a goat and pick a sheep. They get to pick a behavior and then they come up with a plan for how they want to train it based on what they've learned in class. So what you're going to see here is the students will come out, they'll tell you what they train their goat or sheep to do, a little bit about how they train them to do it, and let you know where they are. So they get about 15 minutes a week, each individual does, with their animal, so it's not a lot of time throughout the semester, so sometimes you're going to see a work in progress, but this group's done a really good job. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it.
Thanks. My name's Alex. This is my partner, Christina.
Hello.
Our creature is named Hobart. This is his second semester working with Georgia Tech students, and he is actually the reigning champ from last semester, so try to follow that up. So our goal for this semester was to get him to run through a sequence of hula hoops. Ideally, we wanted him to do it in such a way where he would only go through a hoop if we gave him a verbal command to do so. So to approach this, we started out with reinforcing any interest in the hoop, and that is, so like any moving towards the hoop, staring at the hoop, being around the hoop. So from that point, we progressed into reinforcing whenever he actually made contact with the hoop, and then whenever he would put any part of his body through the hoop, to the point where he was going all the way through the hoop. And then from that point, we went to multiple hoops. So we actually ended up accomplishing this much quicker than we anticipated. So we decided to throw in some extra little tricks. We also will have him going in and out of the hoop, as in going backwards to the hoop also, and we'll have him weaving through the hoops. So, without further ado.
Hobart here. Hobart here. Hobart here. Hobart here. Hobart here. Hobart here. Let's see if we can do a weave. Hobart here. Hobart here. Hobart here. Hobart here. Target. Target. Hobart back. Good job. Yeah.
Hey everyone, I'm Dakota. I'm Tyler. And our goat is Nessie. She's a 3-year-old Nubian goat. We're actually the last group to go, so thanks everyone for staying this long. Hopefully the best for last thing applies here. We got Nessie to do a ballroom dance actually. So while Tyler gets it set up, I'll be telling you a little bit about the training procedure we used. Essentially, the trick of the ballroom dance was just to get Nessie to heel. So we started out standing next to her and reinforcing her behavior, essentially just standing there, just throwing food at her, basically. Afterward, we started taking little steps forward and giving her a click and a treat whenever she moved up next to us. After that, we basically increased the distance, varied the distance and the speed, basically to make it so that she was walking next to us the entire time. We were reinforcing her for moving and stopping next to us. After we got her to reliably move forward with us, we tried to get her to do it backwards as well. She had a little bit of an issue with this. When we would take a little step backwards, she had the tendency to actually turn around and face us. So what we did is we actually trained her next to the fence. We had one of us standing next to her, one of us standing in front of her. So whenever we moved backward, she basically had no other choice than to move like one step back to regain her position next to our side. She still has a little bit of trouble with that away from the fence. She has a tendency to turn towards us, and we kind of use that to our advantage during the dance, though, because we kind of move with her as well, do like a backwards circle kind of effect. The last thing we implemented was the cue. It kind of looks like I was going to do an open palm punch to the face. We didn't use any aversive training, we promise. We just tried to make the stimulus very salient. The last thing, we also implemented a couple side behaviors. Make the dance look more genuine, essentially. We added like a little spin, like you would normally see in a dance. And we added a little bow at the end. So if you look out for both of those. And without further ado, let's go ahead and see the ballroom dance.
Very good, bro. Heel. Heel. Heel.
Snow White. Snow White is a 2-year-old, 2.5-year-old Nubian goat, and we trained her to do the goat electric slide. So in the fall of 2012, Snow White was trained to do a discrimination task. And in spring 2012, she conquered an obstacle course. So today we're going to celebrate those accomplishments with the dance. We defined the goat electric slide as moving to the right, as many of you may be familiar with, moving to the left, stepping back, and then finishing with the circle. Of course, it'll look different for Snow White, though. In training, we broke the behavior down in 4 steps. Those 4 behaviors are moving to the right, moving to the left, backing up, which she'll do a variation of that, and finishing with the circle. Over the course of 4 months, we trained Snow White using a behavior called, or a shaping mechanism called back chaining. And by doing that, we train her for the end behaviors first, and then the beginning behaviors of the dance. So we trained the circle first, and then we ended with stepping to the right, stepping to the left. So at this point in training, Snow White is an excellent dancer, and she'll be able to exhibit that for you in just a minute.